So there hasn't been much interesting or even much conclusive work going on down here, which is why I've been leaving you guys high and dry the last couple weeks. The IS, I've got everything pretty much back together. Cooling system's in. I had an issue where the hose assortment that I bought wasn't even close for the upper radiator hose, and it took 2 weeks for Rock Auto, to ship me a new Europarts hose. Still not entirely sure that this idle valve is okay. And since we have a 2.7 liter engine now, we still have the 15.5 injectors, I may have to swap those out for some bigger ones. Just now, I got the hose installed, filled it up with BMW Blue, and I'm going to fire it up and run it for a few minutes just to see if I can, set the rings in a little bit better, and I don't know, just try to see if I can get it to idle with these 15-pound injectors. I'm not super confident I'll be able to, but it's worth a try. But either way, I've got coolant in it now, so I can let it run for a few minutes without too much worry. The M3, I got it to hot start a little bit better. The crank sensor code that it was throwing didn't seem to be affected by a new crank sensor. I bought a new OE crank sensor, threw it in there, and actually wouldn't start at all. Threw the old one back in, wouldn't start at all. With the ignition on, pulled the codes. I even tried a spare ECU. I got all the tools, took out a spare S52 manual ECU, removed the EWS, tried that. No dice. But I reached under the intake manifold and wiggled the harness, and then I heard another relay click. Went inside the car, fired right up. So I think we actually have an engine harness wiring issue causing that intermittent no hot start. Seems a little bit strange, but it's possible. I think I do have an engine harness at home, but I want to do a little bit more diagnostic before I go through all the effort of changing that out. Then I still have to replace the sunroof shader. I bought some headliner fabric to do that. And then this thing's pretty much ready to submit to either, I don't know, bring a trailer or cars and bids, whoever will take it. But I'm looking to get rid of this thing pronto. I'd really like to get the manual swapped into that car. But yeah, this is kind of my number one project right now because I hate having a car that I can't hop in and drive. I don't know why there's a duck on the roof. And no, it's not an SMG. See, it starts with some throttle, but that's definitely not 6 cylinders there. So I'd like that to clear up a little bit. And I don't know if that's just a lack of fueling or if it's, again, not enough compression just because the engine's not really fully set in again yet or what. But the plan is just to let it run a bit, see if it clears up. We're definitely running lean. So yeah, I think more fuel would be wise. Looks like the cooling system is working though, that's cool. Haha, no pun intended. Also, when I floor it, it dies. So I think it needs a throttle position sensor or the wiring for the TPS is not correct. Otherwise, AFM might be dicey. I do have another AFM, so maybe I'll try that too. But, yeah. Progress. Don't worry about that. The lights not hooked up. I have nice hot heat. No more smoke from the exhaust, which was unburned fuel in the catalytic converter. I'm just gonna let it run a bit more. Try to get the engine nice and hot. Get as much pressure in there as I can, but look what happens when I floor it. It dies. So if I go light on the throttle, it's fine, but if I floor it, it dies. Basically the same thing happens if I let off, it dies. So I wonder if that's a throttle position sensor. So in order to get the injectors out, you really do have to pull the valve cover, which sucks. But I'm noticing that the fuel pressure regulator output is bone dry. So I feel like that FPR might be bad. Either way, I'm going to change the injectors out, see if we get a different behavior. Oh, also, that's not good. Might have had some injection issues. All right, well, we'll swap it out. I'm going to use the S50 injectors, which are the same as M50 injectors. So going from 15.5s to 17.5s. Should be pretty good fit for the 2.7. So I've whipped the throttle body off here. And the plan is take off the throttle position sensor and replace it with this one. Neither one of them is known good, but I don't know. I'll give this one a go. All right. Oh, whoops. Not even plugged in. So I think I've narrowed it down to a bad idle valve. Pretty sure that's a bad idle valve. The old one just snaps shut. TPS was also bad though. I got nice throttle response with the new one. Well, at least it's answers. I'll have to see if I have another L-shaped ICV at home. Bet I do. So I do have it running. The idle's still not perfect. And I think I'm having maybe a little bit of an issue with the TPS. Wide open throttle's great, but just kind of tipping in off of idle, it's not perfect. So I don't know if that's the ECU just sort of freaking out about the extra air requirement of the 2.7 or if it's an AFM issue. But it does start, run, and high idle at least with the screw turned a little bit, which you're not supposed to touch on a Motronic because the idle control gets confused. However, I've tried every degree of lower, and it just will not idle. So I'm not sure what to do there. This is good enough to take it for a test drive, so I'll probably clean up the bay here, throw the hood on it, and just see how it does out there. I still have to get that coolant tank a little bit better sat. And also this hose needs to go through below the AFM mount. The power steering reservoir where I have it also seems to be interfering with the airbox, so I may elect to just use a pod filter. The IX booster and master cylinder are quite a bit bigger, so I can't run the power steering reservoir where it's supposed to be. Just a few little things that are annoyances, but it does run pretty well. I tested out all my ECUs, none of those are fried, so I'm very happy about that. Threw them in the Tesla to take them home. And I started cleaning up just a little bit because the shop here looks disgusting. And I got Mr. Wags out yesterday because I thought I was going to have to drive him, but nope. I did realize, however, the plates on it were pretty old, and the hardware was unusably terrible. So I was able to bend that out of the way and get the frame off without damage. And luckily I stock these things here, the actual plate bracket. I needed one for the unicorn after it got stolen, so I bought a few, and that's paying dividends now. Apparently when I got rear-ended all those years ago, they painted over my VIN sticker, which kind of sucks. But anyway, get the new Mr. Wags plates on here. I waited forever to get these because they're easy to remember, and I kind of drive this car like a douche. So anyway, let's get these popped on there, and then maybe get the hood on the IS. All right, let's attempt to take it for its maiden voyage, I guess. Let's see if I can get out of here without destroying the Tesla charger. Well, power steering works, that's a nice sign. I do think I'm gonna have to go forward a bit first. Lower motor's a little noisy. Oh. Okay, so anytime I get over like 10% throttle, or until I floor it, no power at all. Interesting. Oh, also the shifter is rubbing on the drive shaft. Quite a bit. That's weird. Not sure why. Let's take a look at that. Also, I don't know if the trunk is just completely full of garbage or if that's differential bolts. Oh man, General Mills is making blueberry muffins right now. I can tell. It smells so good. Yeah, we still have a lot of fiddling to do yet. The engine otherwise runs really nice. Got a very satisfying sewing machine sound to it. So it won't die at 50% throttle, but it has no idea what to do. I'm at 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%. Then it kicks in. I think we still have a TPS issue. Yeah, we still have some work to do. Oh yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's only 46 degrees out right now, Fahrenheit, of course. But a little bit later today, it's supposed to get up to 60 and sunny. I think that is nice enough for the, albeit relatively poor, heater in the 355 to keep up. And I have not yet driven it in 2021. Not even sure if I've started it yet this year. So the plan for me right now is going to be open up the door, move the Z8, and I'll probably put the Z8 up here, actually. And then get the 355 outside, maybe vacuum it, definitely get a little bit more conditioner on the seats, just, and the tonneau cover, I guess. And leather and sunlight, you know how that goes. But beyond that, I guess just wait for it to warm up. Hopefully everything is still working properly, and then maybe later on today I will get to take it for a little river road drive. That repair held up really well. Happy about that. Oh, no. That's right, the starter button's very hidden. You know, I should verify this thing isn't plugged in first. I bet it is. Glad I checked. Oops. Not driving it today, so I'm not latching that. I can't count how many times I've moved a car with the trickle charger still plugged in. Same story here. But I'm actually driving this, so it gets latched. It's a good looking car, that. Alright, so this is genuinely a pretty old start. Steering lock. Lovely. Italian cars aren't reliable. Whatever. I know I'm biased, but that is still my favorite looking Ferrari ever.